Can you see something different? What about now? I got a haircut. Hey everyone, welcome back to Global Dance News. I am Israel Rodriguez and today we have another amazing interview. So you are a dancer and now you prepare yourself to go to a ballet competition. You feel that you're ready, you're all pumped up, and then you receive an email that the competition has been cancelled just because of COVID-19. You're the director of the competitions and now you have to suspend everything and postpone the date of the competition. You don't know what to do. Well, to talk about that and more, I invited the founder and director of Youth America Grand Prix, Larissa Saveliev. Larissa, it's not a secret what everyone is going through right now with the coronavirus. And I know your final in New York had to be suspended. How are you dealing right now with that?
Well, so that seems like last life when it's happened. So, I think really, at least in the art industry, our life been changed before and after. So it was, of course, very tough decision, like any performing art organization going through this. It was extremely difficult decision, but safety of participant and health of the participants is the first priority. But we are where we are, and we've been forced to this situation. And way I look at this, if God give us a lemon, let's create the lemonade. So, and none of us sign up for this situation. None of us really want to be here where we are. But let's look at the positive things out of this situation. So, of course, nothing can, at least in my view, nothing can substitute the live show. And we, as a performing art, is a live show art form. And we all, of course, I don't know, at least I am confident we're going to be back to the theater. We're just not sure when. So we're all dreaming for this day, but so that's why let's use this time before we can come back to our usual circumstances and our usual situation where we can be on stage. Let's use this time to maybe flash back and see why the people love our art form, and what can we do to our audience and to our followers. I mean followers not in the social media, I mean followers in real life. What can we do to keep our art alive?
So for those competitors that were basically training hard, you know how much they train, and they were very excited to go to the finals. What word of encouragement and positivism can you tell them?
Yes, it's maybe unfortunately they were not able to make it there, but let them stay home, and maybe they can watch more videos. Maybe they can watch more, maybe they can read more books about ballet, so they can see the difference between Swan Lake's story and Giselle's story. And maybe they can go a little bit deeper into the history of ballet, and which will help them get better understanding what are they performing. So you can't perform Kitri the same way you perform Giselle. So, and I think these little details, which sometimes we just didn't have a chance to go that deep into it, now is a moment. So of course they can continue working on the Zoom classes before all of us get zoomed out. So they should continue to working on the physicality and the core technique and the strengths. But I think education is one of the main components of the art form. And that's a perfect timing. They should use it right now. One thing I can tell you, for the next year, we now so prepare for, like, we have scenario A, scenario B, scenario C. We're gonna work super hard to make sure all our ballet students have the goal, and the major goal, of course, is to become the best dancers they possibly can be, and whatever we can do to help the kids achieve these goals, we are there.
You start, your career in the Bolshoi Academy. Tell me a little bit about your beginnings of your dance career.
Well, I think I was the average student of Bolshoi Ballet Academy. When I mean average, like, waking up early in the morning, our days was begin, I believe 8 or 8:30, I think. Our days start 9 o'clock in the morning, and we were going until sometimes 7 o'clock at night, sometimes 9 o'clock at night, depend like how long is the rehearsal was. And that was 8 years every day, and I didn't imagine any life different than that. I didn't regret in 1 second. I would done it again if I have to. And of course, Bol should be known for being such a strict school with very, very strict discipline. So it was a little bit different when we came here in America, so, and I realized it's not as strict as we used to. And it was like a little challenge for me and with my own kids, because ballet, I think one of the main quality for ballet is a self-discipline. If you want to succeed in life and in ballet life, the self-discipline is #1 ingredient. Because even if you have an absolutely perfect body, and you have like turnout and the feet and the legs, so but you don't know how to properly use it, it will be no good of this. Nothing good will come out.
What made you stop dancing? Did you make that decision? It was, we stopped dancing for so many reasons, but what was Larissa's motivation to stop dancing?
We moved from Russia to US, and I already have a small child at this age. I think when we moved, like he was 4, and Gennady started working for ABT. The ABT was traveling very, very much, so it's a traveling company. So he would have been traveling, and I would have been traveling. So we have an issue where the son will be staying with. And that's kind of when he started working for them. So I say that's probably time for me to stay home. And that's actually how I ended up doing the competition, because I was staying home, and then after maybe 6 months, I say, okay, I can't do this anymore. I was in self-lockdown then.
Actually, that was the follow-up of my next question. So now you're staying home, and all of a sudden you start teaching, and an idea popped up in your head.
I tell you, because
tell me how that was.
The local school in the area where I would live was a jazz school, and I started teaching for them and started going to the jazz competitions with them, because that was what they do. And for me, of course, it was so strange. Whole situation was the ballroom and the carpet, and just whole situation. I don't say it's not good. It was just a little different for me than I used to. And then I remember I'm coming back from one of the competition, and I'm reading the scores, and it was one of the classical variation, and the judge says in the score, variation can be a little more exciting. And I was okay, this is it. It's petit pas. I was do you understand? It's petit pas. What are you talking about? And I came to my director. I was I can't do this anymore. You don't understand. That's insulting. How can you do this about petit pas? And my director was fantastic. Her name is Robin Hornet. So she's an amazing woman. And she just told me, you know what? Stop complaining. You want to do something for ballet dancers? Then open competition for ballet dancers. And I was what do you mean? She was I mean, you want a chance for your kids to perform, and you don't like what you have, then create something which you think is better. Don't complain, create better thing. and I start to seriously think about. And first moment I thought I was crazy, and then next couple months I start to talk to people and they start to thinking I'm crazy. So, you know, it was no internet, it was no YouTube, it was no cell phone, no emails, like, so whole situation was completely different. So I have to physically speak with people and try to convince them why I think it's a good idea. And because we were like very, very first ballet competition in US for students. It was in Jackson, Mississippi, which of course is like amazing organization, but it was every 4 years, only for professionals. And then it was like New York International Ballet Competition, which also was like beautifully run competition, but again, it was for professionals.
Do you, at that time, when you were thinking and you started, do you ever thought that it was going to become this phenomenon?
Absolutely not. Like I say, it was a very, very bumpy road. Just because, you know, like I'm just giving you even example, like to find out about dance schools, what I was doing, I was going to the library and getting the addresses from the library or from the dance magazine, or like in the back of the dance magazine, it has a directory of the schools. So for example, even find out which city we would like to open the regional competition. Where is the more ballet schools are located? So right now you can do Google search. There you could not. Like I say, it was like hours and hours of research and talking. I mean, I can go on and on in this, but the message I would like to send to the kids is, if you have a goal, you have to go to your goal no matter what. And it might take a little longer than you originally expected. It might take a little bumpier than you originally expected. But if you will be persistent with your dream, it will happen. So
my next question, that's perfect. You have seen, you know, your husband probably every single style, every single method out there. And, you know, we have, you know, Valentin, Vaganova, Russian, the Cuban. Is there a best style that you say this is better than this?
That's a very, very good question. And I'm glad you asked it, because it's not just the same as the best in art, because art is subjective art form. It's very, very subjective. We're not going against the clock. We're going against human opinion. And we constantly have to remember that. So that's why in terms of the style, it's what is best for you, which I strongly believe every style has a strengths and weakness. That's I witness like myself. For example, let's talk about Russian. All this gorgeous upper body, you know, everybody has a neck, everybody has beautiful arms. Well, Petite Allegro, not really the strengths. There you have a French, which is like known for, like, you know, nobody will do beats better than the French. You know, New York City Ballet, like Valentin style, the speed, attack, the, you know, like do musicality. So Cuban, nobody is like do the better tours. Nobody like tours better than Cubans. That's also the fact, you know. But that's why I say it's not just the same as the best style. You have to, as the student, find what's work for you, but stick to it, which I believe you can't do. You can't jump. Like, you know, one day you do that, another day you do that. Because it's a system. And so you have to stick to one system and consistently building on it. So because what is the, what do? We're building the foundation. So, and when you're gonna build the strong foundation, then you can add different decoration on your beautiful house. You know, like then you can decide you will do the stucco, or you'll do the bricks, or you'll do the stones, you know. But unless you're gonna build the foundation, doesn't matter how beautiful house you want to build, it will not be sustainable.
So let me continue with the next question. Have you ever experimented any accusation that competitions is politics and
Oh,
my daughter deserved this and my student deserved this?
every day.
It's a hard topic to talk.
It's a very hard topic and we can't avoid it. Unfortunately, I'm glad you brought it up and we have to talk about this every day. Again, ballet is the subjective art form. We rely on a human opinion. I'm giving you an example. How often, for example, you watch the show and then reading the review of the show and it has completely opposite than what you have in mind. And you were like, okay, hold on. Did we actually watch the same show? And the person who you thought was terrific, they just trash it down. And sometime production, you think, oh, it's okay, like at least, and it's just like, oh my God. And sometimes you just come in and say, oh my, it was such a beautiful show. And the critic just trashed it down, trashed it. So it's mean you're gonna go and fight with them? It's their opinion and they entitled of having this opinion. So, and that's why I try to always explain to the parents and to the students, like, so guys, we are here at this particular moment and we have this particular 4 or 5 or 10 people looking at you. And that's their opinion. You might disagree with their opinion, but they entitled to have this opinion. And that's the message I want to send it, to everybody. And I know it's hard to, for like a lot of people, it's hard to understand, but honestly, I'm staying as far as possible away from the judges. And anybody who judged for us can tell you that. I purposely go away when they decided. I purposely, especially in New York, that's as emotional for you guys as for me. Because you can imagine, I spent a whole year with these kids. We travel the places together. I've been following their progress, throughout the whole year. So before they come to the finals, when I walk into the theater, we're going with the goal to make as many kids not happy. I'm not sure happy is the right word. So as many kids come out with benefits for them. And every single event we organize, we go with this mission and this goal in mind.
Have you ever go home after everything is done, it's finished, and say, man, I shouldn't have given this Grand Prix or this gold medal to this person. But anyway, it's done. Have you ever?
Oh my God, sometimes we fight. Sometimes we fight with Gennady. Sometimes we fight with Alexei. Because sometimes we disagree ourselves. I was like, oh my God, I can't believe that so-and-so did not win. Because for example, I was not in this city. And that's one of the girls who is close to my heart. And then because I've been following her, so since she was little girl and she didn't do well. And I was like, look, I cannot believe she didn't win. Well, and the answer was yeah, she didn't do well at all. So, and yeah, we disagree. Or sometimes we have you also have, again, it's a human opinion, but do you go for somebody who is gorgeous body and a beautiful feet and, but she fell off of every single step possibly she can fall off. Yeah, her potential is amazing, but this particular day she was off.
That's important, because as long as the teacher give those information to them, because when I'm talking about young students, they can come out there and they might think they did the best they could if they don't feel satisfied because for whatever reason, and that could affect them. So I think teachers and educators should know better and how to talk to the students so they don't get discouraged and everything.
It's how we mentally prepare the kids. So, because, like, for example, for the athletes for Olympics, they have a whole mental team of support who get them in the right mode, who make sure they learn how to deal with the nerves. So they learn how to operate in extremely stressful conditions. And I think we as adults, it's teachers, educators, coaches, we have to teach the kids how to deal with these obstacles. That's part of the job we have to do, not only teaching them tendus and the pirouettes, but how you deal with this situation, because stage fright is extremely powerful and nobody cancel that. And I know tons of amazing dancers who are like beautiful in class, and always nail it, and then crawl off the stage to the wings almost every show they perform. So unfortunately, that's reality.
Actually, I have, I think it's 2 questions that I got from students for you, from Facebook.
Okay.
And the school. And, but I don't want to forget, this is so important. Eleanor Stewart from Mobile Ballet, where we are, she asked this to you. Is there anything you wish you knew concerning ballet as a career while you were still a student?
Oh my God, great question. Yeah, all of these things I know now. So that's very good question. So what you have to remember is you're only as good as your last show, which is it's a good thing. And if you have amazing show, you have to be very happy, but you have to come back to studio, and remember, you have to work as hard as you did yesterday, because again, so it's unfortunately very perishable product. Ballet is very perishable product. It does not stay long fresh. You have to constantly work to keep it on your toes. So you have to be very open-minded as a dancer, and don't ever say, oh, I don't want to do that. That's something like I never done before. I don't want to try. So you have to try everything. Like, you want to jump in your eyebrows? Sure, let me try. I never done it. Let me try. So then choreographers will be always key to work with you. And that's from my experience following our alumni in different company, and see who is succeeded, who is not. Those who've been most open-minded and those who've been willing to do anything in a company is those who succeeded the most.
So I have another question, Ms. Larissa, from Isabella Belton. I hope I'm pronouncing the right, using the right pronunciation. She wants to ask you, actually, that was one of my questions too, but I put it together. She wants to ask you, from your point of view, from a teacher, director perspective, and you've seen all these amazing dancers every competition, what make a great dancer a great dancer?
It's a combination of the physicality, artistry, and something unique which dancer has. That's which kind of sticks to you. Like when you go home from the show, sometimes you just you remember this person. You can't explain why, but it's give you great memory, and you want to come back and visit this performance over and over. And I think that's my take on this. But I think that's why ballet dancers are so ballet stars are so rare to find those days. And it's because it's very hard to find, to have a physical beauty, to have right discipline, right mindset, and and of course the artistry and emotion on stage, because in the end of the day, we are the art, we're not the sports, we're the art. So, and I think combination of all these ingredients is very difficult to find in one person, and that's why is very few of those who have been admiring for years, but they don't come that often.
Larissa, thank you so much for taking a little bit of your time, because I know you're very busy. Thank you so much. I know we can be talking here forever.
Okay.
Thank you.